Once upon a time, there was a small group of islands whose economy developed quickly, selling phosphates until they depleted the resource. The Sim Islands then faced the danger of being the first place to be swallowed by the rising sea levels due to the increasing world temperatures. The story of Kiribati, that's the name of the islands, is an example of the reciprocal relation between Earth and economy. We are behaving as if we had tens of Earths, while in fact we've got only one. And we should hand it over to future generations too. The big issue is feeding the ever-growing population in a sustainable way. Listen to Lester Brown, the founder of the Earth Policy Institute and the World Watch Institute.
So in countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia, India, for example, a substantial share of families now routinely plans foodless days. They cannot afford enough food to eat every day. So on Sunday evening, for example, they'll decide that this week they will not eat on Wednesday and Saturday.
How can we have enough food for everybody using less resources? Since not all people can afford to live with less, we need to find out whether sustainable growth is better achieved through traditional methods or cutting-edge techniques. In the last years, rice has tripled its price. Bad news for Africa, which imports 1/3 of this cereal. Marco Woperais, a rice expert at the Africa Rice Center, has helped to develop, through traditional breeding techniques, new rice varieties called America that have a short growth cycle and are well suited to the harsh African climate. Producing fertilizer is expensive and contributes to climate change. But planting crops and legumes in rows makes the best nitrogen from the air and the soil, because legumes have special bacteria living in their roots that take nitrogen from the air and capture it for the plant to use. So leaving legumes roots in the ground after crop harvesting puts nitrogen back into the soil. Another way of reducing chemical fertilizing is making worm compost. That is using worms to turn plant waste into fertilizer. Are there traditional ways of reducing pesticides use? The potato is one of the most important staple crops in the world, and pest damage can be devastating. Potato weevil is a pretty persistent and dangerous pest, but farmers can control it without chemicals. Since weevil larvae hibernate in the soil, chickens taken in the fields after the harvest will eat the larvae before they become adults. It's also possible to fight rice blast that can destroy up to 20% of each year's rice harvest in China without pesticides by growing different rice varieties in alternate lines. So the chance of rice blast evolving into a type which can overcome all these varieties is very small. Are traditional farming methods enough, or we can do better with a little bit more of technology? Precision farming, a farming management with the goal of getting more yield on inputs while preserving resources, uses computer technology and satellite images of the field to match farming practices to soil needs, pasture yield, and soil composition, reducing irrigation fertilization rates to the minimum. Pictures can be beamed down by a satellite or taken by sensors mounted on a tractor's canopy. Believe it or not, responsible and sustainable farming techniques downtown is no longer a dream. Thanks to cutting-edge efficient management on rooftops, you can use less space and grow more than in field, saving on fuel and pollution caused by transport. Look at Gotham Green facilities downtown in New York. They produce fresh, tasting culinary ingredients right in the Big Apple. Their rooftop greenhouses yield 20-30 times more product per acre than field production with water-efficient hydroponics, reducing electrical needs thanks to solar panels. A similar approach in the West Village. At the Bell Book and Candle restaurant, which serves local, organic, sustainable and responsibly self-produced veggies, picked up from its aeroponic rooftop tower garden. Both traditional and cutting-edge methods can help to get more with less. There's a growing need for clever ideas. Let's see two of them. 40% of the world depends on fish, but every year 27 million tons of it are thrown back because they are too young or of the wrong species. Often, they are the most threatened ones. This practice is unsustainable, both for our seas and for fishermen. The safety net designed by Dan Watson, winner of last year's Dyson Award, can solve this problem. It's a special trolling net, whose end part is equipped with self-charging flashing rings that prevent the deformation of the meshes due to water stretching and show the little fish the way out. The net is also divided by a panel into a bottom part with large meshes and a top part with small meshes and the rings. This allows fish to be separated according to their behavior in case of stress. In fact, cods, a threatened species, when stressed swim downwards so they can escape to the larger meshes, while lollybig markable haddocks and whitings which swim upwards thanks to the rings get retained. 3 billion people cook using fires, and almost 2 million die every year from cook stove smoke. Not only using wood for cooking stripes bare fragile landscapes, but the tens of thousands of women and girls who spend hours a day gathering wood often risk getting attacked during their chore. The World Food Programme SAFE initiative wants to grant safe access to firewood and alternative energy in humanitarian settings. Let's see one of these projects. In Darfur, where conflicts and droughts have led to rapid deterioration of natural resources, it's very difficult to find fuel to cook with. Being more fuel efficient compared to the traditional twist on fire, the safe stoves have reduced firewood consumption, protecting the community forest, and the money saved on fuel can be used to buy more food and improve nutrition. The stoves also help to keep homes cleaner, reduce burn injuries, especially among children, and protect from smoke-related illnesses. Can less be enough? Only if it's enough for everybody. But we have to find ways to get into it less. Combining wise traditional methods and sustainable innovation might contribute to ensure a sufficient and reliable supply of food for the future.